Hi, I'm Tom English, and our lesson today in geometry is on quadrilaterals. And quad means four, and lateral means side, so you know it's four-sided figures. It's specifically four-sided polygons. A polygon, again, is an enclosed figure with many sides, anywhere from 3 to on up as many as you want. But the unique thing about quadrilaterals is that they're not all shaped the same, for one thing. We have basically three classifications. We have parallelograms, we have trapezoids, and we have something called kites. And it's a good name for it. They look very much like the early kites. Now kites are a lot fancier than that, but the unique thing about kites is they have two pairs of adjacent angles or sides equal. So this pair is equal and this pair is equal. In fact, let me indicate that by okay. And one thing about kites is their diagonals are perpendicular to each other. Trapezoids are unusual in that they only have one pair of parallel sides, and the diagonals, because of the misshape of a trapezoid, you can't really tell much about those as you can in quadrilaterals. But the one set of parallel sides, and we would indicate that with arrows on each of these. And the unique thing about them too, because they have two parallel sides that act as what you'd consider the bases, what you have to do is you have to take the average of the bases and then multiply it times the height in order to get the area. So again, you take the average. How do we find the average of two items? Add them together and divide by 2. And that's one of the things that you'll see a formula. Area is equal to base 1 plus base 2 divided by 2 times h. And kids get confused. What formula do I need for this? Forget the formulas. Just look at the figure itself and say, oh, I've got two unequal sides there. I better take the average. The average of the bases is equal then, or times the height is equal to the area. Now with parallelograms, because of the, first of all, two pairs of parallel sides, and the sides, the opposite sides are also always equal. So we would indicate that with equals or 2 hash marks. That shows that the opposite sides are equal. And we could also show them being parallel with the arrows. One set for one, 2 sets for the others. Okay? Now, another important thing here is that the angles in a parallelogram, the opposite angles are always equal. Okay? And since the lines are parallel, can you tell me something else about those angles? In the case of consecutive angles, you think about this from our parallel lines intercepted by a transversal. If we just take the top and bottom, those two parallel lines intercepted by a transversal, then these are both interior angles, aren't they, on the same side of the transversal. And if they're not equal to each other, they are then what? Supplemental. So the opposite angles are always equal to each other, and consecutive angles are supplemental to each other. And another unique thing, let's see if I can draw the diagonals in here, is the diagonals will always bisect each other. okay? So we could again show this side equal to this side, and this side equal to that side. So when you look at your various problems you're going to have on that, you want to remember that with a parallelogram. Now, there's also an issue with special parallelograms, and that's the rectangle and the square. They are parallelograms. So everything we said about parallelograms are true also for the rectangle and the square. The difference with the rectangle and square, they have all right angles, don't they? And so one of the things that happens with them is, since all the angles are 90 degrees, these are all right triangles, and their diagonals not only bisect each other, oops, okay, but their diagonals are equal to each other as well. Same way with the square here, if I could draw a straight line. So when you have a rectangle and you're given the diagonals, one of the things you want to remember is, okay, since they bisect each other, just as in the parallelogram up here, the other thing is, well, I would have only had to draw one set of marks here, wouldn't I? Because that means this half is obviously equal to that half, but it's also equal to this half, and so this is 4 equal halves of diagonals there. So that's going to help you. We're going to do some problems that are based on that, but some fairly simple rules. I hope you find them easy. The main one we'll be dealing with, obviously, is parallelograms. The fact that the trapezoid, it's only one set of parallel lines, so it's kind of a weird shape, and then also the kite. So hopefully you'll enjoy this short section, and we'll do very well in it. Thank you.